Hello. So this week I've been contemplating Jinki 52, the keeping still mountain, as the sun's been moving through the cycle of the mountain of appreciation, of anchoring into what is and what is becoming, of cultivating presence and stillness and pausing into the slower rhythms of the earth. And the keeping still mountain, this Jinki 52, it's the core essence of the mountain, from stress and the constriction of our breath and stress and the overwhelm and the overload, being crushed by the mountain. If you felt this dynamic energy of life and not able to keep up or move into it or starting to constrict, and really that constriction is the body telling us to come in, to come into the belly, to come into the body, to pause, to restrain, because it's the gift of restraint, that power of the torque, pulling back the bow, of coming into stillness, the city of stillness. And the keeping still mountain is about rest when it's time to rest. And then you can act when it's time to act. You can use that torque. All that restraint and potential energy allows us to move with such grace and such communion with the moment, with the energy of the moment, instead of restricting and resisting and trying to push and force the moment. And that's the shadow of stress, trying to force the moment. So my two big insights for this contemplation of the mountain was about setting the tempo of my day, the rhythm of my day. So as you may know, I wake up every morning and I have pu'er tea. I sit in meditation with tea. And I drink these ancient trees and I listen to that slower breath rhythm, come into that pace, and set the whole frequency for that day can come from that space. I wake up an extra half hour, an hour early from whatever I have to do in the day. I don't check my email first. I don't, which I want to sometimes, I rush into work or I rush into something else. And it's like, no, I take that precious moment to set the tone for my day by appreciating life, coming into stillness and meditation and being. And I do that before I work too. I'm a web designer and a videographer, and I do all these things on the computer, and I manage all these different projects and weavings of art. And before I do that, I pause. When I'm doing my work, I pause, and I come into that stillness and move from that place so that I'm not overwhelmed and stressed of trying to force something in life to do what it's supposed to do. I actually listen to the energy of each moment. That's my ideal. That's for me the juice of the 52, to listen to the truth of the moment, to pause and restrain, and then move from that effortless place, from that true yang that just waits for that perfect moment to blossom. So I've been taking a lot of pauses this week as the sun moves through Jinki 52. And I'm noticing this pattern with the mountain energy already. We move from this fertile earth above the mountain in 15, receiving the nourishment from spirit. And now we're sitting in the mountain, in the majestic mountain, and the holy apus, and this celestial truth that is anchored into the slow-moving, dense, strong reality of the body of the earth. And then soon on Friday, we're moving into the water over the mountain and dynamism, and new energy begins to flow, but it's all coming from that rooted place. My final insight about the mountain this week has been about retraining my biology to respond to stress with bliss. When stress occurs in the body, we trigger all this adrenaline, we move all this energy, because the body is literally giving us signals that we are in danger. When I feel anxiety, it's because my whole body is pumping this adrenaline as a response, as a fear response, as a survival mechanism, versus training and listening and myelinating pathways that even the shadow means that there is bliss on the other side, that it's the fuel for new creativity to emerge. So retraining myself to not go into fight or flight in the moment of some sort of challenge and the resistance of life, but to pause, to restrain, like my Qigong teachers and the internal martial arts teachers, grounding this energy, centering in the belly, so that I can respond and dance with each moment with appreciation. There's a mountain of appreciation, to generously give of my presence to reality, to exactly what it is and what it's becoming. To sit long enough while the impermanent waves of pain and happiness and sorrow and all these emotions They're like clouds in the sky moving past the still mountain of presence. So to honor the still mountain and the moving in our own rhythms and our own times, I bring you a beautiful little story from a dear brother of mine, from a storyteller, Dave Hoover. Take it away, Dave.
Well, one day the birds were flying from the forest, and they saw the snails coming towards the forest. And the birds, they shouted down to the snails, "Hey, snails, where are you going?" And the king of snails looks up, and he says, "We're going to the forest to eat the leaves." And the birds say, "Well, we've just come from the forest, and there aren't any leaves to eat." And so the snails look up, and they say, "Well, by the time we get there, there will be leaves." So this is the wisdom of the snails, to go at your own pace.